Here we go.
Oh, I don't know what this thing is. I think it's a strip show, dance show.
Work there, dude.
Welcome to
DeaconLive.
DeaconLive.
Welcome back, guys. On today's show, are birds racist? And what happened to the pig-hearted man? And who was found dead in the theme park bathroom? And also, how much does this baby weigh? All this and much, much more will be discussed here on Deacon Live. How are you? How are things? How are things going? Welcome to Deacon Live as we cruise through news stories that you might have missed in the past 7 days or so on your social feed. So how are you? How are things? How are things going? Are you doing all right? Are you getting along with everyone? That's all we ask, is that you get along with everyone and everyone gets along with you. So stop screwing around and stop doing bad things. That's all I got to say about that. Now, this is the day after Halloween. So I notice, this is the first time, and I don't want to say it's depressing. It's kind of upsetting in a way. My wife was like, "Well, you did it to yourself. You know, you made this decision, and the decision that you made, you've got to live with it." I'm like, "Yeah, I know." So this is the first year that I have not done anything at all for Halloween. Zippo. Normally I put some lights outside, some not really like decorate as much, but like do some like creepy, scary lighting. I'll do some, what's the things that you buy? The little motion things that are on the house and it looks like a ghost is flying through the air. I'll do that. Do we hand out candy? No, because, you can see our house from the road, but, our driveway is about 100 yards long. And you would physically have to drive to our house to get candy from us. I just wanted to make it like a little spectacle as people are flying by on the little 2-lane country road that we live on here. Oh, check that house out. When you go around at Christmas time and you go look at the lights and stuff, you want to see cool things. And during Halloween time, I think it's no different. I mean, when else do you decorate your house this way? I mean, some people do it for Easter. Weirdos, those guys. But hold on, I got to switch this here. There we go. But literally Christmas and Halloween are the only times that you really, really get to decorate your house outside. And I didn't do anything this year. And it kind of goes twofold. And the reason why I didn't do anything this year, one, I just wasn't in the mood. I was just like, I'm just, it's another day. I'm at that age now where it's just another day. Now I don't have kids or anything like that. The neighbors next door, they've got 6 kids over there, but they don't practice Halloween. They do, fall festival stuff, that type family over there, which is great. That's what they do. That's what they believe. That's what they want to do. That's fine. And the neighbors on the other side down the hill is not, how do I put this? They are not, they're Filipino. Let's do it that way. That's an easier way to explain. They're Filipino, so I don't know what they do. I don't know what their religions are or what their background is or how they approach things like Halloween and stuff like that. I don't know if they do it because they're Americanized or are they doing it to satisfy us as far as, fitting in. Hey, look, we're fitting in. But yeah, so I didn't do anything this year. And the second part of that fold is I was worried with things. Now, we broadcast just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, a little town called Marshville with population 2,500 people. The next big town over is Monroe, and Monroe's been showing up on TikToks with a lot of just weird cop stuff going on. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. I don't want that to flow on this side of the tracks. And so I was like, I saw a couple videos and I'm like going, I don't want to send an invite to those type people to come to this side, like I said, to this side of the tracks. So I said, babe, it's, I almost said New Year's. It's Halloween. Let's make sure we have all the lights off in the house. What do you mean? Not in the house, but like outside, because we live on, 22 some acres. We have, dusk till dawn lights on the front of the house. We have dusk till dawn lights on the side of the house, just to keep our property lit up year round, just people, foot traffic and stuff. Doesn't happen, but, so when we go outside, we can look and see around the house. I said, let's turn everything off because we don't want to invite, carpools of miscreants, carpools of people that aren't from this side of the neighborhood down our driveway. And then we end up in some kind of horror movie where we're tied and bound and gagged and we're sitting in our kitchen, foyer area with, a gun to our head asking where the money's at. When there's no money here, shut up, that type movie. I've seen too many movies, and sometimes that plays with my brain. But she's like, really? I said, yeah, turn all the lights off. And she thought I was kidding. So, all right, I'll turn this side of the house off. You do the front of the house. So we went to bed, clicked all the lights off. So, there's no street lights out here. So we are pitch black. Now you can see the neighbor's house over there. You can see the neighbor's house over there on normal business days, not Halloween night. I went outside about 8:30, 9 o'clock. Sun's already down, pitch black out there. And I turned the lights on a little bit so I can see to get the dog down the steps and then out in the yard. I'm looking like down, because I can see a mile this way. I can see a mile this way. Nobody had any lights on at all. Normally, this street is kind of lit up based on everyone's front porch light or some kind of light on the side or over their garage or something like that. Nobody had any lights on. So maybe it was me taking the initiative and my whatever was right, that nobody wanted anyone coming in our neighborhood. And I say that for this reason. About 5 miles up the road from us, they're building new neighborhoods left and right. And when I say new neighborhoods, now the houses are very modest homes, starting at, the mid 300,000s for like 1,800 square feet or something like that. But they're building all these new neighborhoods around us. And within the last 5 years, about 30 houses have popped up. Now, 30 houses brings, more people and more groups and more melting pot of life and stuff. But there's a lot more road traffic in front of our house. It was nothing for me last year to have Halloween lights up. And since we've been here for 10 years. Anyways, so I was just like, let's turn all the lights off. Lights off, everybody. Lights off. Don't answer the door, Dad. Don't answer the door. Why? Who's at the door? Nobody is going to answer. Nobody's going to knock on the door. So if you hear a knock on the door or something like that, we have a glass front door that, with the crystals. I don't know, like a stained glass front door. Look through that door, and if you don't recognize him, because he doesn't, he just moved up here 2 years ago, do not answer the door unless it's like the neighbors and they come over and they got blood all over them. Help us. No, let them. No, you're on your own, kid. Sorry. There's a murderer next door. Nope. Sorry. 911. Call 911. They'll help you. No, don't come over here. Don't bring that shit over here. All right, guys, stick around. I know lots to talk about, lots to get into. And we're going to talk about getting an Airbnb that was almost like a Halloween theme, but in a bad sense. So stick around. We're all listening to it. Stick around. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. This is going to be special. I guess that's a little better. All right, here we go. You ready? There'll be a lot of skipping going on. Welcome back to Deacon Live. Make sure you follow us on all your social networks. And the way you do that is go over to Prophet Radio, Prophet Radio. At the top of the page, it says social contacts, and you can see all the links that links us to you and you to us as well. You can follow us on your iTunes. You can follow us on your iHeartRadio. Wherever you download podcasts is where you can catch the Deacon Live show. Also, don't forget, for every podcast we do, we have a matching video. You can see me here in the studio waving to you. I've got my my winter garb on. It's deer hunting season. Now, I don't hunt deer or anything like that, but I can't pass up a good deal on this shirt. It's one of those dry wick shirts, real tree, long sleeve. It's nice. It fits me good. It's very form-fitting. And you can see how much I look, how sexy I look here in the studio wearing this. Hey, girls. Hey, guys. Hey, everybody. I don't know why I called out genders, but hello, everybody. You can see me here in the studio in real time. And make sure you subscribe over there at YouTube. I'd appreciate that as well. Now, someone that's appreciating life right now, unfortunately, has passed away. A Maryland man has died after receiving the world's second genetic modified pig heart transplant. So Lawrence Fawcett, 58, a U.S. Navy veteran from Frederick, Maryland, he was dying from heart failure and was ineligible for a traditional heart transplant when the UMMC doctors offered a highly experienced surgery. We're going to replace your heart with a baked potato. You've got 14 seconds to live. No, the South Park thing. Fawcett said his decision to participate in the experiment surgery was rooted for the love of his family. I will fight tooth and nails for every breath I can take to stay with them longer. No, basically, you're just afraid to die, I guess. But aren't we all? if at a certain point. But realistically, this is still an early stage learning process. I have already been accepted. I have to be ready to accept the outcome we end up with, he says. We mourn the loss of Fawcett, a remarkable patient, scientist, Navy veteran, and a family man who just wanted a little bit more time to spend with his loving wife, sons, and family. The cardiologist, the surgeon who performed the task on Fawcett. Fawcett received the transplant on September 20th, meaning he survived for nearly 6 weeks after the procedure. Can you imagine that? Hey, I guess they say the pig's heart's the more comparable or comparison to our heart, same size, does the same thing. It's got the same valves. It's got the same motor, the same RPMs, the same horsepower, for lack of a better term. And so he lasts for, and the other guy, I think this is the second heart transplant. I think the first guy lasted for like 3 months. So we're getting there. Mr. Fawcett had made significant progress after a surgery, engaging in physical therapy, spending time with his family members, and playing cards with his wife, Anne. In recent days, the heart began to show initial signs of rejection. The most significant challenge with the traditional transplants involving human organs as well. So despite the medical team's greatest effort, Mr. Fawcett unfortunately succumbed to us on October 30th, the day before Halloween. Can you imagine that? I'm going to eat candy and stuff to copy. Mr. Fawcett. Damn it. It just doesn't get any easier. If you've seen the show, you know what I'm talking about. So there you go. But we're getting there. He had heart failure, wasn't able to get on a transplant list for whatever reason, might be diabetic, might be some other contagions that he might have had in his body. So they said, hey, let's throw this pig heart in him, see what happens. And it lasts for a little bit, and then they learn from their mistakes, and then we go on. That's essentially how medicine comes to be. Just cut them open, throw it in there, let it fly, and see what happens. All right, so we can get back to this. You ready? Is everyone paying attention now? Go ahead and close that out. Oh, did I lose my other shit? I did. Now, living out here in beautiful little town of Marshall, we don't have a whole lot of grocery stores. We got a Food Lion. It's kind of ghetto. It's the modern day. I'm from Orlando, Florida. It's kind of like the Winn-Dixie, the lower end Winn-Dixie here in the area. Now they have upped their game. They got a couple nice stores, and they spend a little bit of money to them, but they're far away from us. They're not in this neighborhood, not in this 2,500 population, 2,500 people. They don't put those Food Lions here. And the thing that I hate about Food Lion, I always feel like they're pandering to those that have EBT or that are on some kind of assistant, like food assistant and stuff like that. Because everything they put in their ads, everything in there qualifies for EBT. It's not like, they got a deal on these type items. They just like pander to that area. And I think that's how Food Lion makes their business. Now, Wal-Mart, I like going to Wal-Mart. My wife kind of hates it, but I like it. The only reason why she hates it is because she can't get like the the Whole30 stuff. She can't get a lot of organic stuff. She can't get a lot of stuff that doesn't have like processed foods and stuff. And Walmart's gotten really, really good at changing their actual what they carry here in the store. And I've seen a big change in the last 12 months on all Walmarts. Now, if you haven't seen this change or you haven't been in a Walmart before, unfortunately, I can't go to Target. It's too far from me. And I think Target prices are a little expensive too. But it's a better class of people, Deacon. It's a better class of people in there. And there is a reason why they have a website that says the people of Walmart. Yeah, people of Walmart, because it caters to everyone. It lets everyone in. And the process of getting more people into their stores is they have spent over $9 billion. They're working on a $9 billion project to modernize more than 1,400 of its 4,700 stores across the country. Attention shoppers, the nation's biggest retailer is hoping a multi-billion-dollar upgrade in its stores will bring in more customers in and for longer periods of time. While Walmart is relaunching 117 stores in 30 states this Friday after spending more than $500 million on improved layouts and new technologies for those locations. These construction investments allow us to create, and this is the CEO of Walmart, John Furner, to create more local jobs, make it easier for our associates to get customers what they want, when they want it, and so on. The remodels include new paint, flooring, modernized restrooms. All right, so there's the top 3 on my list that I didn't know I needed. LED lighting, okay. New signage to make it easier to navigate while shopping. And furthermore, its branding of the nation's largest discount chain, Walmart, is adding a new dollar shops inside the revamped stores featuring seasonal products. Upgraded stores will have a larger pharmacy area with private screening rooms, the company says. All right. Shoppers will also have more checkout points, including staffed and self-checkout lanes, as well as additional grab-and-go food and drink options. Now, when they say grab-and-go food, drink options, the Walmart that I have, when you first walk in the store, they hit you with all the seasonal stuff on the left and right. Bam, 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 bam. But the other entrance, normally there's 2 entrances. One for like automotive and housewares. The other one's like for the grocery store side. The automotive and housewares, they've actually put like this almost, it's not a vestibule. It's like a roundabout type thing where you can walk in and grab like a soda. They got like these, it's almost like a, up in New York, they've got them. It's called like a bodega. That's what it is. Thank you very much. Johnny over there giving me it's a bodega, and he's doing the hand signals. A bodega. It's like a small little bodega. You can grab like a sandwich real quick. It's already pre-made. They got drinks. They actually have beer in there, and it's got all these little small self-service coolers. And I think that's kind of cool, and I think that's great because, this whole, stipulation that Walmart's for like poor people, Walmart's for like trashy people. No, they've updated the stores. They're putting like little vignettes. They're selling like small furniture type things, little houseware type things. I don't know if they're kind of competing with IKEA and Target at the same time. I think Target's their biggest thing there because IKEA, I guess, is, full-on furniture and stuff. The only thing that Walmart's missing is the damn, and this would bring in a lot of people if they could do it. You know how Costco has that whole food thing when you're done checking out and stuff? They always slap you with that $1.50 hot dog or the $2 pizza or something like that. That's the only thing Walmart's missing. And I think if they do that and get rid of all these, McDonald's, get rid of all those in-store things now, like Subway and stuff. Now, granted, I'm sure they probably make a killing on the back end of those, having those locations in their stores. But if they were to do like some kind of cafe. Back in the day, there was a place called Kmart, and they had a place called The Grill. And you could physically go up there, and it was like a blue plate special type thing. Go down the line, pick out what you wanted, like you were at a cafeteria, sit down, eat what you wanted, and then you were gone. They should bring something like that back. I think that would be good for Walmart. But what do I know? I don't have enough money to make $9 billion to sit there and upgrade all my stuff. All right, guys, when we come back, this couple bought a new house and came with a very, very unexpected housewarming gift. And this could be deadly form. So stick around. We'll get into that when we come back. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. You want to be heard? Of course you do. Everyone wants to be heard, and we would love to hear from you. And the way you can do that is go over to Prophet Radio, proud sponsors of Deacon Live. PROPHET radio.com. At the bottom of the page says Be Heard. It's got a little blue bar with a little microphone on it. Opens up whatever device you're listening to us on or at. You can speak right into it as long as it's got a microphone on it. Be clear, be loud, be pronunciatedly. You can be anonymous if you want. You can ask us anything. You can be podcast famous. You can just ask us anything about the show, any questions you may have, or anything you want to just tell us, or just say, hey, what's going on, or happy Halloween type deal. So you can do that over at Prophet Radio on the Be Heard section. Now, like I said, this is the day after Halloween. What do they call it? Cabbage Day or something like that? I forget what they actually call the day after Halloween. I think it's Cabbage Day. Maybe I'm thinking of a different holiday. I get them all mixed up. But this is the first year I really haven't done anything as far as decorating the house and stuff. I'm okay with that. I think I would panic a little bit more this year because of everything that's going on. And I'm at an age where it's kind of like, I don't know if I want, strangers walking down my driveway. I've seen too many horror movies and, I'm dead. Everyone in the house is dead. And they can steal our chicken eggs that we have here. And that's all they're going to get. There ain't no money in this house. But sometimes my wife, she rides horses as a hobby and stuff, and she does very well at it. And she is in the process of getting there's different medals and levels and training facilities and stuff that she's going and doing. That's why we have this big old property out here. And so sometimes the horse riding eventing takes place somewhere else, and so her and her friends will go in on an Airbnb. I know that she told me stories, some good, one was really, really bad. That she showed up in this neighborhood, and it was like there were people on the corner, looking at her car, at her friends' cars, and we're like, oh, nope, we're not staying in this neighborhood. Nope, roll them up. And they drive off and got a hotel and got their money back. They paid a late fee or whatever on it. But this right here, the castle, an Airbnb called the Castle over in Michigan, is under a lawsuit based on these women here that stayed in that place. An Airbnb and the owner of a Michigan rental place called The Castle is being sued by a group of senior women who said that their stay on the property turned into a nightmare of horrors after a horde of brown bats infested the home and bit some of them. Come on, really? Are they flying in and just chewing on your neck? The file was filed Monday, fitting the one day before Halloween, in Alpena County Court System against Airbnb and the owner of the property and the manager of the rental by 7 women who stayed in this Victoria-styled home for their 50th high school reunion. They're the only ones left in their class. They're the only ones left. The suit alleges that Airbnb negligently forgot to allow... Oh, negligently. I wish I could read sometimes. The suit alleges that Airbnb I can't say the word, allowed the infestation of the home to be advertised on this platform, and that the homeowner and those responsible for the maintenance failed to ensure the home was safe for those to rent. John Marco, who's representing the plaintiffs, describes the whole ordeal as a classic scene from a horror movie. A group of 8 women had enjoyed their stay. A group of 8 women had enjoyed their stay at the castle for 3 days, but on the evening of July 26, 2 women staying in the large turret room of the home were shocked and awakened by screech noises and dark shapes moving along the wall. The woman screamed and ran out in the hallway, slamming the door shut and sealing the frame with blankets. There damn bats in here, man. What the hell, man? Soon after, another bat came screeching down the hallway and more to follow, the statement says. The women ran into the stairwell, found themselves and it was consumed with bats. The guests looked for the nearest bed to block the doors and window. This is right out of a horror movie. More and more the bats became entering the living quarters. The bats were coming out of the old lath walls and entering through gaps in the baseboards. The night was littered with screams that could be heard from one room to the next and then the next. The bats got entangled in some of the women's hair. Oh, you got to cut that out. You got to cut your hair off when that happens. And some of the women were struck by creatures while others were bitten. All right. I don't think brown bats are biting people like they do in the horror movies. The ordeal ended when dawn came and the bats retreated to the attic, the plaintiff says. So can you imagine that? First of all, more advertisement for the castle if we're on Halloween night. If you want to do that, sure. Second of all, I don't know. We have a bat house here. We got a pretty large property. We don't have the castle or anything like that or a turret bedroom, but we do have a pretty good sized property here, and we have bat houses up like on the eaves and stuff, so that the bats themselves do not get into the eaves. But when they say there's hundreds and thousands, there's probably four. There's probably four, and you know how old women are, especially if this is their, look at it this way, if this is their 50th high school anniversary and they graduated when they were 18, you know, these women are probably 60, 68, pushing 70. They don't know what's going on. Just tell them it's a ride at Disney World. They'll be fine. Now, these people right here, new homeowners, are not fine. Homeowners are cleaning their new house in Alabama that they just proudly purchased. Oh my God, I can't believe this. We bought a house. We're so excited. We can't wait to move in. We're going to decorate the house, and we're going to have lots of Halloween stuff for the trick-or-treaters, and then Christmas time, we're going to decorate the house even more. Well, while they were cleaning up like the house and the yard itself, I don't know why they're cleaning up, but all right, we'll go with that. They made a disturbing discovery as an overturned freezer in the backyard. And when they turned the freezer back over, a severely decomposed human body was inside. Henry County Sheriff's Eric Blankenship said that the deputies were called to the scene in Headland on Sunday. He says that the remains are thought to be a 19-year-old boy, Logan Michael Halstead. Halstead's parents, the previous tenants of the house, had now been charged with abuse of a corpse. Michael Shane Halstead, 44, and Karen Halstead, 43, rented the property but left over a month ago after skipping out on rent payments, according to this news report. The homeowners then sold it to the new buyers who found the teenage body on Sunday. According to the owners, according to this article, the owners were planning on getting rid of the freezer in their yard, but found it was way too heavy to load into the trailer. So they decided to clean it. Oh, okay. So the new homeowners saw the freezer in the yard. We're going to haul it to the trailer. It was too heavy. So they decided to clean it. When they opened up the freezer door, they saw a hand inside and immediately contacted authorities. Sheriff Blankenship said Logan may have died early as July or August. He said the body was so decomposed that the deputies could not immediately determine its gender. Later on Sunday, Logan's parents were taken into custody and charged. The parents were both booked in Henry County Jail without bond. Logan's body has been transported to the Alabama Department of Forensics and Scientists and autopsies and stuff. So there you go. Imagine that. You buy a new house. Well, a house that was like a rental property. So they probably just slapped some paint on it and said, hey, here, buy this house. And in the process, you're like going, why is this freezer on our property? And then you open it up and there's a dead boy inside who's been there for God knows how long. That's a horrible story. Now, one thing that I do get scared about here, when we bought this property here, like I said, we're on 22-some acres. And at one time, this whole parcel was over 110 acres. And God knows what was happening, 30 years ago, 40 years ago on this property. And here in North Carolina, we've got like that hard soil and stuff. And we've got a lot of like big boulder cranial size pieces of quartz. We do. I mean, big, huge pieces of quartz. And sometimes I'll see a piece of quartz in the ground because it's white and it's got like the marble shape to it and stuff. And I look at it and I go, please don't be a skull. Please don't be a human skull. I'm always scared that I'm going to come across some bones in this yard, doing like remodeling and building onto the property and putting barns and fences and stuff up there. So I just worry about that. So hopefully justice will prevail in that story. Now here, I don't know if justice is prevailing. It's all depending on how you look at the actual situation. So here on our property, we've got birds all over the place. So we've got a lot of cardinals. I think there's Carolina blackhead swallows. We've got a whole bunch of different birds here. We've got bird feeders all over the place. We were having problems with birds nesting in our garage. There was a couple little ledges and stuff in the garage that they would nest every year, and they would just make a mess like over the cars because they would poop and stuff all over the cars. So unfortunately, I had to take those areas away and fill them up with something that they couldn't build a nest on. And hopefully that's taken care of everything this year. But if you're a bird watcher, you're sitting out there and you're watching birds and stuff. And you're like, oh, that's a yellow belly sapsucker. And you're like going, all right, well, that's a yellow belly sapsucker. Because you can look at it and go, okay, it's yellow. It's on its belly and he's over there like licking or eating sap. So boom, that name makes sense. Unfortunately, back in the early days of the United States and so on, birds were named based on who discovered them and the area that they were discovered in. So, for example, I saw this bird in the Carolinas, so it's the Carolina redbill. All right, well, that makes sense. But let's say I'm Joe Thompson, and I'm the only one who discovered this thing. Joe Thompson, that's a Thompson black-footed crane. All right, there you go. But then, unfortunately, I go out and murder 15 people. Now, this bird's got my name on it, so they're trying to change everything as way like the old school of naming birds and change something that shuns our racism in the past. Dozens of bird species in the United States and Canada will get an imaginative new names that reflect their traits and habits rather than names of the people that found them. The society plans the American, big words, get ready, Ornithology Society announced on Wednesdays they have a plan to remove all human names from the common names of birds within its jurisdictions to create a more inclusive environment for people of diverse backgrounds interested in bird watching and ornithology. The public process, yet to be fully determined, will include 70 to 80 birds in the U.S. and Canada, the society stated. So for years, the controversy of a bird's naming linked to people with racist and genocidal histories has always been up for debate. I'm really excited to see this change, Corinne Newsom, one of the scientists among the group of dozen people of the Black Outdoor Enthusiastic that launched the first Black Birders Week in May 2020. Whoa, that whole sentence has got a lot of questions to be asked there. It's a major change on how we think about birds' names. We came to the decision that we really want names to be about the birds. Although the project was initiated to address past wrongs over links of the historical figures known for their support of slavery or genocide of indigenous people, the society plans to remove all honorific human names. A committee has considered the recommendation noted. The blanket removal will avoid potential conscientious value judgments about the character or the morality of the individuals in the past. The new bird's name will be more descriptive names like the blue-footed booby and the red-headed woodpecker. rather than nebulous names like the Ross goose or the Bachman sparrow that gives no clues about how they identify the bird. We're hoping to be imaginative about this. It's a great chance to come up with beautiful, evocative names, a way describing a special appearance, song, and habitats of where they live. The committee also proposed the change of the names considered the cultural inappropriation for over three other birds: the flesh-footed shearwood, the Eskimo curlew, and the Inca dove. I guess they find them offensive somehow. Honestly, I was surprised that they came to this decision. Newsom said to USA Today, it fosters an equal approach to learning about the world we live in. So what they're trying to do, like I said, if they said, there's the Hitler stash feathered cockatoo. All right, I can understand changing that one. But when you start getting into like who actually, found the bird, I think there was one, like I was talking about the Thompson bird. He discovered the Thompson bird way before anything happened across the United States. And then they found out that, John Thompson fought for the South during the Civil War. And they're like, well, we can't have that. He fought for the South. He believed in slavery. He believed it. No, he just fought for the South. You don't understand, and so on and so forth. I mean, there's all these different words and stuff. So, yes, I do agree with naming the bird based on the actual color of it. But then aren't we naming stuff like the Justin Timberlake spider? Aren't there like bugs and stuff that are being named after people and people are really getting excited about those? So, I mean, what if the person that's getting named on that spider or the new bug or new insect or something like that does something really, really bad? Are we going back on that? Can't the bug people get with the bird people and say, hey, look, what are you naming your stuff? Well, I don't know. We're naming them after what they actually are, the color of them. What are you naming them after? Well, there's no one really paying attention to bugs, so we're going to name them after famous people. Okay, so what if those famous people go and shoot up a mall? We'll deal with that then. So that's what's happening there. All right, guys, stick around. When we come back, speaking of shooting up a mall, this gentleman right here went to a theme park with all intentions of doing mass destruction. And where they found him and what ended up happening to him, I'll get into that when we come back. So stick around. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. You want something for free? We'll give you something for free, but what you got to do for me is go over to Prophet Radio, PROPHET Radio, proud sponsors of Deacon Live. That's prophetradio.com. At the top of the page says free swag. Click on that little drop-down menu. You can see all the different podcasts that are broadcast out of the Prophet Radio studio here. Pick out a prize pack over there. It's not an email grab or anything like that. Believe me, they just want to say thank you. Just fill out that little form there. Pick out what kind of pack you want, and we'll send you one of those out right away. There, some of them have magnets, some of them have stickers, some of them have keychains, buttons, all that stuff. So pick out what you like, and we'll send it up to you right away. And while you're over there, we'd love to hear from you. You can be podcast famous. Click on that little part that says be heard. Opens up a microphone. You can be anonymous if you want to tell us how you feel, what you're thinking, and how you feeling like or something like that. So we'd love to hear from you as well. So do that over at prophetradio.com. Now, my dad was telling me this morning we were getting low on eggs out there in our walk-in cooler. And I said, yeah, I know. Well, it's that time of season. People are, holiday parties and Thanksgiving and stuff. So he's like, and I said to him the other day, I said, I had a guy come up the other day and bought 15 dozen from us. And he's like, oh, really? Wow. And I go, yeah, we don't sell them to make a profit. The eggs that we sell, it's $3 a dozen, and they're all like mismatched sizes. There's small ones, there's big ones. I don't have time to sit there and go through them all to make sure that they're, all the same size and stuff. So we just say $3 across the board. And this one guy I was talking to who comes up here normally, about every 2 weeks he comes up. He says, you know what? I really appreciate you guys with the prices. He's like, I was thinking about getting chickens myself and raising them on my property, but the time and the cost to build the chicken house, to feed them, to clean everything, and, to do this on a daily basis. Plus, I just got married. We're trying to have a family. He's like, I just don't have time. Your eggs, at $3, I'll buy them all day long, because in the store, they're $7-8 a piece. And I told my dad that, and he goes, well, you should raise the price of those eggs. I go, no, I want to sell them and get rid of them, because it's part of our LLC. We get an agricultural, anyways, tax break and all that thing that happens with it. I said, but anyways, I just take the money that I get, because it's usually cash in hand. And I take the money when I get enough of it, and I'll go down to the local convenience store and I'll buy lottery tickets. So one day in my mind, I'm thinking these eggs are going to make me millions. This is the way I look at it. So if I make, $40-50 on, a couple dozen eggs when people buy them, I'll take that $40-50 down. I'll go buy some scratch-offs for my wife to keep her hands busy. And then I'll buy like the Powerball and the Mega Mall stuff, Mega Millions or whatever it's called. I'll buy those. And one of these days, if you don't hear from me, I've won the $1 million. I've won the Powerball or something. But that's what I do with the egg money. Just kind of put it in there. It's just free cash for the most part on our end. So that's what I do with the money. But this guy right here, he came across $30 million. A gentleman by the name of Stephen Riley, 51 years old, inherited $30 million. Unfortunately, he died there soon after. A North Dakota woman fatally... Hold on. A North Dakota woman fatally poisoned her boyfriend after learning of his plans to dump her because he had just inherited $30 million just hours earlier. Sorry, sweetheart. I got $30 million whores I can go mess with. Not with your stank ass. Ina Coyer, Canoyer, 47, was charged on Monday with the September 5th murder of her boyfriend, Stephen Riley Jr. Stephen Riley Jr., 51, in a gruesome act that cops says was driven by financial motives. The case was extremely complex. Riley became ill when he met with his lawyer on September 3rd to collect a massive inherited sum, witness told investigators, according to their police reports. Canoyer didn't call 911 till the next day when paramedics arrived to find Riley's unresponsive body in his Minot home. In his home. Hold on. When the paramedics arrived to find Riley unresponsive in his home, he died at the hospital the following day. An autopsy determined that he was killed after ingesting antifreeze, which the police allegedly said that Canoyer fed him. The accused killer proclaimed her innocent in a series of nonsensical Facebook posts in the days leading up to the arrest. To the chauffeur that almost hit me, and this is what she posted on Facebook. To the chauffeur that almost hit me, that's not married. Hello, honey. I wish I was looking for something. No woman, a kind person. All right. So if you want to see what she looks like, what a peach she is. I'm going to switch over to camera 4 so you can see her. Here she is. $30 million. You can get a better looking girl than that. Holy Jesus. What a Halloween treat she is. Canoyer told investigators that she planned to split Riley's astounding inheritance, which she estimated to be about $30 million, with his son, the record states. She claimed that she was entitled to the fortune as his common law wife. In North Dakota, however, doesn't recognize such a relationship. I'll switch back to camera 1 here, so if your eyes are burning from looking at her. Oh, wait, I'm going to switch back. Switch back. So here, this is actually him, Riley, right here. She claimed that she was entitled to the fortune, and additionally, Riley had revealed plans of a break-off of the romance shortly after receiving the massive sums of money, leading the investigators to the theories that she poisoned him to secure the treasure. Oh, there he is right there. Look at him. He looks like a hard-working man. He's not the best-looking guy in the world, but either she. Jesus Christ. $30 million make anyone look sexy. Now, on a lighter note, Authorities found a gentleman in the bathroom of a theme park dead. Self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. Now you say, oh my God, how crass. Why would that be a good news? Because Diego Baramas Medina, 20, was found dead in a woman's bathroom at the Glenwood Caverns Adventure Park by maintenance crew on Saturday morning, just before the park opened to the public. He had died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. A heavily armed man killed himself rather than carrying out the apparent plan to shoot up a mountaintop amusement park in Colorado. His body was discovered in the bathroom next to the words scrawled on the wall, "I'm not a killer," authorities said on Monday. Medina was apparently entered the park while it was closed, armed with an AR-style rifle, semi-automatic handgun, explosives, and wearing body armor and tactical clothing, similar to what police SWAT team members wear. The message says, "I'm not a killer, I just want to get into the caves," was written on the wall of the bathroom, where Medina's body was found lying on the floor. Nearby was a handgun, explosive devices, and some real and some fake. The AR-style rifle was on the counter nearby, along with a duty belt holding several ammunition magazines. Valero, who's Valero? Let's find out who he is before I start yelling about him. Oh, Garfield County Sheriff Lou Valero said he could not be certain if Medina wrote the message on the wall. There was no prior indications, either at home or at school, suggesting that he was planning an attack, Valero said. But the sheriff noted investigators have not conducted any in-depth interviews yet. The FBI will help review Medina's phone records and social media postings as part of an investigation. Given the preparation and given the amount of weapons and ordnance he had, it almost seemed very likely that he intended to use them against the community, and he chose not to. Multiple improvised explosive devices were found in the vehicle used by Medina. Authorities searched the rest of the park of other explosives and suggested that none were found. Medina's body was removed on Sunday after the scene deemed safe, according to the coroner. So essentially, Medina came in there, snuck in this park overnight, and said, "Hey, look, this is it. I want to get in the caves. They won't let me in the caves." I don't know what that means, getting into the caves. And he, was in the woman's bathroom. He knew that, no one's going to go in there. He's going to spend the night in there. And then maybe his buzz wore off, maybe whatever he was on, some kind of drugs, whatever his medication he didn't take, because that's got to be a part of a mental state. When you decide that you're going to do that at 20 years old, you're going to do this. And then you can go on and say, oh, gun laws this, gun laws that. Well, we got to start at the beginning. We have to start at, evaluating the person, the child, the whatever, so we don't get to this point. He doesn't fall through the cracks. So there you go. At least he made I don't want to call it the appropriate decision to make, because the appropriate decision to be made should have been made a long time ago. But he took it upon himself to say, you know what, I'm not going to do this, but I can't go on doing this myself. And that's what he did. Ended his life in the bathroom and probably saved who knows how many, hundreds, if not, thousands of people's lives with explosives and stuff in a theme park, highly dense populated area. All right, guys, when we come back, daylight savings time's coming up in a couple days or so, and you're like going, Jesus, can we just get over this? Can we please just decide on one thing? And I'll tell you what we decided, because it's a long, drawn-out story, and you hear rumors on this and rumors on that. I'll tell you the exact rumors of what actually happened over the last 6 or 8 years when they've been voting on this. So it's not my fault. I did my job. The people up there in that big white building up there has not done their part. So I'll get into those details when we come back. Stick around. You listen to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. Don't forget, for every podcast we do, I have a matching video as well. And you can see some of these articles that as we're talking about them in real time. The way you do that is go to Deacon Live podcast over on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe over there. We'd like to see you over there. We'd like to build up our little fan base over there. Believe me, I'm not doing it for the money over on YouTube. I'm not trying to get the clicks and likes and all that stuff. I just want to give you another avenue, another media source that you can watch us here in the studio. And another way for you to enjoy the program as well. And you can see me here, my new, I say new, I haven't worn this year. My Real Tree dry wick shirt. It's a little cool here in North Carolina. I think tonight we're supposed to get down to 26. November 1st, 2023, getting down to 26 degrees tonight. So I've got everything all buttoned up outside, and I've got my little shirt on here. And I've lost a little bit of weight doing Whole30 diet. I'll stand up and model for you. Look at this. Oh, my God. Look at that. One more day. I used to be like this. So there you go. That's about the best you're going to get. Now, with daylight savings times, as I told you, we have 20 some odd acres here. And we have a lot of stuff, a lot of responsibilities here on the property. We have horses, we have chickens, we have cattle, we have goats and chickens and cats and dogs and everything that goes with the whole entire horse or the whole entire farm that we have here on the DeaconLive compound, for lack of a better term. But things need to happen. They need to happen at a certain time. And I don't set an alarm in the morning. Usually my natural body, my natural clock inside wakes me up, and that wakes me up probably around 7 o'clock, 7:10. And I'll sit there and scroll through the news that I missed overnight. And that's where you get some of these articles that you might have missed as well. And then I have to watch my dog, my 14-year-old bulldog, make sure that she can get up and go outside and go pee so she doesn't have any accidents. And then the day starts. I have to go down and feed the horses with my wife if she's not out training at an off-campus facility. And then go around and make sure all the horses are good and make sure they have blankets on or don't have blankets on. Or, yes, they do wear blankets, little sheets over the top of them because they get cold too, just like me and you. But we've noticed it's so weird, the last 2 weeks, like 7 o'clock in the morning, it's bright as hell in the bedroom. And then all of a sudden, a week later, 7 o'clock, it's dark as hell in the bedroom. Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed in the house. Just the rotation of the planet of the earth. Rotation of the planet of the earth is what I meant to say. But then I'm like going, daylight savings time's got to be coming up here soon. But sure enough, looked at, Alexa, when's daylight savings time? And it's November 5th coming up here in the next few days or so. And you're like going, Jesus Christ, didn't we just get rid of all this? Or didn't we vote on this? Haven't we voted on this a couple times? And people keep asking, why is there a push to make daylight savings time a permanent and why it keeps failing? Well, right now, there's a political fight to make daylight savings time more permanent isn't over despite the upcoming biannual time change and stalled legislation for the most part. The big picture is on November 5th, when most of the nation will fall back to standard times as proposed legislation to end this twice years changing has sat idle since March. Hawaii and Arizona are the only states that do not observe daylight savings time, with the exception of the Navajo region in northeastern Arizona. They probably got a lot of cool named birds over there, too. A March U.gov survey found that 62% of the 1,000 people surveyed wanted to see the changing of the clocks eliminated. Why does this matter? Health groups and sleep experts have called an end to the seasonal shifting of clocks and the ritual first adopted in the United States more than a century ago. With the spring switch to daylight savings times, I know people are going to rip me apart. It's daylight saving time, not daylights. But if you just say it real fast, daylight saving time, it's all the same. This has been associated with a significant public health and safety risk, like the increased risk of heart problems, mood disorders, and car crashes. As per the American Medical Association, which supports making the standard time permanent. So let's catch up fast on this. In March, Senator Mark Rubio, Florida, great, reintroduced the Sunshine Protection Project, or the Sunshine Protection Act, which in 2022 passed with a unanimous consent by the Senate, but was not voted on by the House. This year's Senate bill referred to the Committee of the Commerce, Science, and Transportation, but there has been no other movement on this bill. Then Representative Vern Buchanan from Florida introduced campaign legislation in the House in March, was referred to the House of Energy and Commerce Subcommittee and Innovation, Data, and Commerce. So what's happening is Rubio has filled out a similar legislation regularly since 2018. Hopefully that we can get this finally done, he says. The bill has bipartisan support in Congress and support of 22 states. Then you got Senator Rick Scott. Jesus Christ, these Florida people. I guess it's a whole Florida thing. Said that permanent daylight saving time would benefit families in Florida and across the United States. A reality check is the national effort to stop the clock change has failed or stalled in recent years with lack of support to the survived committees. There are also regional differences over who benefits the changing to more permanent daylight savings time or the standard time. In a flashback in 1970, the last Congress that made daylight saving time permanent, the decision was reversed in less than a year after the early morning darkness proved dangerous for school children and the public sentiment changed as well. So right now, the official time to set the clocks back is 2 o'clock on November 5th and so on and so forth. So meanwhile, 19 states have passed the bill. Or resolutions since 2018 to make daylight saving time year-round if Congress acts, according to the National Conference of State Legislators. Florida was the first to pass the legislation in 2018. Colorado and Connecticut lawmakers passed the resolution in 2022. Other states that have taken action are Alabama, Delaware, Georgia, Idaho, Louisiana, Maine, Minnesota, Mississippi. All right, so there's a whole bunch of them. Oh, excuse me. But yes, they've all approved this bill, but federal law states it can unilaterally move this to standard time and must be approved of the Congress, must have the approval of Congress to adopt the year-round savings times. So it's not the state's fault. It's everyone else's fault up there in the big White House up there. So we've done our job. We've sent it to the front. The problem is when we send it to the front, it's like pinning a note to your little 5-year-old kid and send him to the store. And then he gets to the store and no one wants to give him his food or whatever. That's what we're doing. We're pinning this bill on some of our statesmen up there in the Senate. But they're not, when they go over to the House of Congress or the House of Representatives and stuff, they're being pushed around. No one wants to do anything over there. It's a mess. The whole thing's a mess. Can we just vote on it state by state and just go from there? We don't have to make it a federal law. Just make it make it easy for me where I'm at. Right here on our property, I'm going to say right now, this property, 22 some odd acres, we are not going to do daylight savings time. So if I say be at my house at 8 o'clock, you're going to have to say, oh, is that national time or is that your time? It's my time, because that's what's most important right here. Now, what's important right now up in Canada, records are being broken left and right. Look at the head of this baby. Brittany Aries, now mother of 5, says 2 of her newborn's oldest siblings each weighed well over 13 pounds as well, as she brings in a new baby boy weighing over or close to 15 pounds. Holy Jesus, woman, you are wrecked. So for more on this story, Now's a great chance if you're not watching this on the YouTube video. And now's a great chance to go over there and grab that as well. And you can watch this in real time as we're talking about it here on the show. I'm going to switch to camera 4 so you can see the video in real time as we're talking about it here on the air. So here we go. Of course, I got a commercial. Why wouldn't there be a commercial? Here we go.
In Cambridge. Finally for us tonight, a family in Cambridge is welcoming their newest child to the world while also setting a potential record. Their son born on Monday weighing in at 14 pounds and 8 ounces. The biggest baby born at Cambridge Memorial Hospital in more than a decade. CTV's Colton Weens has their story.
She said 14, by the way, not 4D.
A little cry from a big baby. Meet Sonny Ayers, the biggest child born at Cambridge Memorial Hospital in more than a decade.
We were very surprised at how big Sonny was. He was born 14.5 pounds, and I didn't think that I would ever be saying that out loud.
Sonny was born on Monday in great health, and he's the talk of the hospital already.
A shock when the baby came out. It was just chubby and chunky, and it went on the weighing scale, and
the doctor, black doctor, he's probably going, all right, keep pushing. Holy shit, keep pushing. Jesus Christ, keep pushing. Holy, keep pushing. Put him on the scale. Holy mackerel.
It was quite a large baby.
Dr. Ahimba Sibwe says the Ayers are known to produce big children. An ultrasound last week showed Sonny would be around 6,000 grams.
But she had a baby who was, 13 pounds, 14 ounces, maybe 2 years ago. So was around the same size with the previous babies.
He was pretty big. It was hard to get around, but I didn't think 14 pounds at the very least, maybe 13.
Just for a little bit of comparison, this pumpkin weighs about 14 pounds. Sonny's a bit bigger at 14 pounds and 8 ounces.
He's big around, a lot of our other children were long. He's a little more stout.
Sonny is the 5th child in the Ayers.
He's a wrecking ball.
The youngest of 3 boys and 1 girl.
Oh, blown away. Words can't describe it. It's one of those feelings you get that is overwhelming at first, and then something that you just can't explain.
Now, with enough kids for an offensive line, the Ayers family is complete.
We have a beautiful family. It's a labor of love.
Oh, no, this is the end. Yeah.
Next
5 is enough. Yeah.
The hospital database only goes back to 2010. Sonny is the biggest baby born since then. The average newborn weighs around 7.5 pounds. Fewer than 5 other babies have tipped the scales at more than 6,000 grams. Colton Weens, CTV News, Cambridge.
So this baby came out at 14 and 14.8 pounds. Let me switch back to camera me because it's all about me. Camera one, please. There we go. This baby came out at 14.8 pounds. So looking at the parents, I mean, the mom looks like she's a mom. She looks like a mom that's had 5 kids. And she looks like a mom that's had 5 kids, 13 pounds on average. And then this one comes out. I mean, she's not like a oversized, Jabba the Hutt type size woman. She looks like an average size woman of someone that's had 5 children. And then you look at the dad. The dad looks pretty fit. I mean, he looks pretty healthy. He might be like 5'2", 6'2", or something like that. He looks like keeps himself in shape or, thereof. They're not like obese or any kind of radical thing that would create the two of them together, creating these huge, massive children, these offsprings, these things that they're going to be dealing with. The only thing I worry about is 2 things: the food bill and then Halloween time. These kids are going to be out there going, I want candy, rah, rah, rah. Hopefully they'll lose the chubbiness and the little baby fat that goes along with being a child at that age and that size. All right, guys, on that note, I'm going to let you get back to enjoying the rest of your day. Make sure you follow us on YouTube. That's DeaconLive Podcast. Make sure you subscribe over there. It's not a money grab, believe me. I just want you guys another avenue if you want to see what goes on here in the studio as I'm waving to the camera here. We'd appreciate that as well. If you'd like to be part of the show, you can be podcast famous. Go to Prophet Radio, proud sponsors of DeaconLive. That's PROPHET radio.com. At the bottom of the page says, be heard. Click on that. opens up a microphone. You can be anonymous. You can speak right into that and be part of the show at any given time. We'll play it on the very next podcast. No matter what episode you're listening to, we'll always play it. We got over 9 years of catalogs and stuff. So if you're listening to us from like 4 or 5 years ago, yes, I will play yours on the very next podcast. Not that day, but I mean for whatever the next podcast is being produced for that week. There's a lot of math and like time multiverse that you can deal with that there. And get yourself something for free over there as well at the free swag section. All right, guys, on that note, I'm going to let you get back to enjoying the rest of your day. My name is the Deacon saying good night and good night.
Wait, come back.
This is the end. The absolute end.
Écoute-moi.